You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You're grade A, number one, bona fide first class. You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. And you'll be one all your dumbass life.
Hi there, LinkedIn family. Jonathan here from Some Talented People, and today we learn about the acronym for how to spot and deal with a dumbass before they start affecting your life negatively almost always the time. And I'm joined again by the author of this great book, Lonnie Ray, and by her publishing collaborator and partner in crime, Steve Kidd. And there is the possibility that we might be joined by another person later.
Mystery guest.
So, Lonnie, tell
Yes.
me about this asleep at the wheel, because there's a story behind that phrase.
Yeah, so what we need to do is be aware of what's going on, right? That sounds simple, but sometimes we're not. And so I took the word aware, making an acronym out of it. And asleep at the wheel, is really about those people that aren't handling things the way that maybe they should be. We've all seen somebody asleep at the wheel.
What do you mean?
Well, they're just not doing things the right way. And I hate to say right or wrong, but let me just make a really important distinction here before we get too far into it. And that is that we desperately need to have our own innate GPS so that we can make good judgment calls on our behalf. Okay. There's a big difference between that and being judgmental. Yeah. Where judgmental is putting one person down and putting yourself up, for instance. This is not about being judgmental. This is about being able to observe, assess, and decide, do I want more of this or less of this? It's that simple. So when you see somebody, I got one, tailgating. It's a big thing here in Tennessee. They want to get behind you, do an 80, push, 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 push. That's a total dumbass right there, just waiting for something to happen. You know, or somebody texting, driving with their knees. You know, we've seen they're asleep at the wheel, even though they're behind the wheel. They're really not handling the vehicle and their responsibilities as a responsible driver. So those are some really basic examples.
And it is actually, you know, as you say, it's very much about awareness. Because now I don't want to dive off into a really deep, heavy conversation, but unfortunately I am compelled to know what I already know. So I famously don't use a smartphone. So I am not going to open my flip phone when I'm driving for anything. I can't be bothered. So Bluetooth has been in every car for the last 20 years? And yet you'll see people asleep at the wheel with their phones, especially holding the handset. So it's not even about the communication anymore. It's about the addiction to the device, because the whole of the world is in your hand. So why would you be present?
Yeah.
Steve, too heavy? What do you reckon?
Oh, no, I think it's very true. I think there's another acronym that's going to another one of the acronyms that's going to more clearly define the people who are what I call SIPFA.
Okay.
Self-important, pretentious assholes. You know, that tends to be the ones that are I'm so wonderful that I need to share, you know, doing my makeup while I'm driving, you know, people. People that are asleep at the wheel, they just really don't even know that they are.
I want to give you a really good example of that too, Steve. Yeah. If I can here. So I have a building. There's a real epic dumbass who will come up a lot, no doubt. And in this particular case, she had felt her wheel wiggling on the highway, but her visual inspection was nothing. She said she couldn't figure it out. And then she came home from one of her, DoorDash jobs, and she got another call I think she just came home to drink because that's what she does. But anyway, she said she got another call, and she went out in this wonky wheeled car, and literally out here in front of our apartment, that wheel came flying off of her car, bouncing across the road and landed into my neighbor's lap. He literally caught this wheel. Now this is, yeah. And he said she got out and she seemed to be, I said, yeah, she's probably drunk. But this is somebody who is epic asleep at the wheel example over and over again of things that just, what are you thinking? How could that possibly have been a good idea? Imagine who could have been, killed because she's a dumbass. She's a dumbass.
So interesting distinctions, and I think your day one compassion that you show with this writing is because we're talking about quite serious and dangerous things for people to do. And asleep at the wheel is a good one. As Steve said, we might come up for a better one. But what we're really talking about here is that if you are a person that is exposed to someone like this, here's what this book is. This book is for you. Because I used to coach in primary schools, and I say to the children, who here has been in the car seeing your parents use the phone? Every hand went up. Who's been in the car with their parents, seen them text while they're driving? 50% of the hands went up. You just go, and I said to them, I said, look, your parents don't want to kill you and your friends, but that's what they're doing every time they do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to laugh, but it's true. It's really true.
So, I mean, a child doesn't have much agency in those situations, but, if you're 18 plus, early in business, woo! How do you pronounce your friend's name, by the way?
Quinn.
Excellent.
There she is.
Yeah.
Almost.
Dee, 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 dee. Dee.
Hey,
Quinn. Hey.
Hello, good morning. I am so sorry, Lonnie. I totally dropped the ball. Thanks,
okay.
Steve, for reminding me.
No worries, she is.
Oh.
Hey. And I won't even cut this out, by the way. I'll just leave it in.
Makes it more fun.
Yeah, it does. So, Quinn, as you're new in the room, hello, how you doing?
I'm
Welcome.
awesome. Thank you, Jonathan.
Welcome to the party. We did a quick hello yesterday, looking at the definition of dumbasses, and unfortunately, I think it's an age thing. We keep on getting to these deep conversations from what is an immensely amusing and uplifting book. We're talking at the moment about people asleep at the wheel, and we suddenly went into people using their mobile phones, people drink driving, stuff like that. So the frame we're putting over this, and the reason why people should buy Lonnie's book, is that essentially, if you're exposed to the people that we're going to recount in our tales and anecdotes over the next few days, if you're exposed to one of them and it makes you feel uncomfortable, these are the strategies to get away, to compensate, to alleviate, to ameliorate the situation. Can you give me well, I'm sure you can, you've probably got several, an example of someone who's asleep at the wheel from your point of view?